Yo, Chris Warren here. Got another video for you today with the 5 differences between these two cameras. Let's check it out. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Chris Warren and I'm a Los Angeles-based director of photography. My work usually consists of narratives, commercials, and documentaries. Just like I said in the intro, I'm going to be giving you the 5 big differences between these two cameras. Let's get into it. So first off is their sensor size. This is a full frame sensor at 36mm by 24mm, and this one is a Super 35 sensor measuring 23.10mm by 12.99mm. Although these cameras differ in sensor size, they both have the same dynamic range and same native ISO. Next up, rolling shutter. For the Super 35 sensor, which is the Pocket 6K G1, G2, and Pro models, the rolling shutter is 19.73 milliseconds at full 6K. Now, for the 6K full frame at 3.2 open gate, you're looking at 25.08 milliseconds. Honestly, I tested it the other day. It's not terrible. It does feel a little DSLR days-ish though. So I'm hoping that there is a G2 version of the sensor down the line and it won't be that bad. And I'm really looking forward to the Bmcc, which has the exact same sensor in this. And since I do a lot of action-packed narrative work and handheld documentary work, I'm hoping the Bmcc would be an ideal B cam. We'll see. Keep in mind, the rolling shutter does get better the lower resolution you go in these cameras. So if you start at 6K 3.2 open gate, but then you go down to 6K 6x5 for anamorphic or 6K 240, it gets better, and so forth as you go down in resolution. Same with the Super 35 model. You start at full open 6K on this camera, it's the worst, but as you go down to 5.7K and 4K and so forth, the rolling shutter does improve. Difference number 3, codecs and resolutions. So the full frame model here is BRAW only. However, it also does record 1080 H.264 proxy files. What's cool is that those proxies can then, if this camera was connected to the internet, either through Wi-Fi or hardwired in, those proxies can be sent to the Blackmagic cloud for immediate edit and review. The Super 35 model here has both BRAW and ProRes options. ProRes, you have HQ, 422, LT, and proxy. However, this camera does not generate the H.264 proxies. There is a firmware update that allows this Pocket G1 to upload the camera files to the Blackmagic cloud. So technically both these cameras can do that. However, this is camera original and this is the H.264 proxies. I do believe you can send the originals as well. It's just file size. So the difference in resolutions. So this one has 6K open gate, 6x5 anamorphic, 6K 240, 6K DCI, Super 35 4.3, 4K DCI, Super 16 16x9, and standard HD. Meanwhile, the Super 35 Pocket here has their normal 6K, 6K 240, 5K 17x9, 4K DCI, 3.7K anamorphic, and 2.8K 17x9. Now those are the BRAW codecs. If I was to go to ProRes, I would be limited to ProRes options of 4K DCI, Ultra HD, and HD. Difference number 4, the media these cameras take. The 6K full frame and going forth with the new Bmcc camera, these cameras are going to be taking CFast Express. So this body will only give you one media slot, whereas the Bmcc is going to give you two. I dig that. Over here in the Super 35 6K camera, you have 2 slots. You have a CFast 2.0, which is the same as the Ursa G2, the Broadcast, or the 12K OLPF model. But you also have a second slot for SD cards. I like having 2 slots on this, just as a backup if for any reason one media fails. I have an SD card. I can always change my resolution and codec settings to record onto an SD card. I just like having 2 in the body. Also, with both of these guys, you can record to an external SSD through the USB-C port on these bodies. And difference number 5, finally, the body style difference. This guy is a little bit bigger than the original 6K model. Granted, the 6K Pro is a little different because of the internal indies. I'm not too familiar with the 6K G2. I don't have it, I've never used it, but I know that has the articulating screen, and all newer pockets have 2 mini XLR ports on them. This guy does, this guy does not. This guy has the EVF attachment and the articulating screen, this guy does not. So there are those minor differences, but overall, it's basically the same size. You know, like I said, this is a bigger body style, so you may have to get a different cage and different rigging for it than this guy. In addition to the bigger body style on the 6K full frame, the 6K full frame is also an L mount camera. I like that because you can adapt it to pretty much any other lens mount. You can do E to L, EF to L, PL to L, LPL to L. So it gives you a lot more flexibility with your camera and your lens choice. Whereas the Pocket line, I believe, are only EF cameras. I don't think I've ever seen a PL version. I know there is a mod by Wooden Camera, but I don't know what other lens mounts the camera comes in. So it's a huge difference and may dictate which one you choose because of the lenses you own or what lenses you're choosing for the project. Now, those were the 5 big differences of these cameras. There are a lot of similarities though. They both have the awesome Blackmagic operating software, which is very similar. They both can upload to the Blackmagic cloud. They both have the vertical rotating operating system, so if you were to shoot vertical, you can work within that. And they both have Gen 5 color science. And they're both the same native ISOs at 400 and 3200. So overall, both these cameras are very similar, but yet so different. Which one do you choose? So both of these cameras have some big differences, yet a lot of similarities. Let me know in the comments below which one you prefer and which one suits your workflow better. Alright guys, that wraps up this video. Please drop a like if you found this video helpful. I'd like to hear any feedback. Hopefully this video is leagues better than my very first 5 difference video when I was just starting out. You could check out my work at my website at chriswarrendp.com, or you can find me on Instagram at cwdp112. Till next time guys, peace.